Yes, ma'am, we come today.
All right, so what we're going to do today is equivalent fractions. Look at page 273 with me. This is a good little chart. I like this chart a lot because it shows you which fractions are equal to other fractions. And this is something even in 5th grade I have them use. I printed out one for them and they used it when we were still in school. Equivalent fractions name the same part of a region or set. So equivalent means the same. So if I were to say something like 2/4, it is equal to 1/2. Those two fractions are equivalent. So look at the little chart they give you this in all the colors. It has 1 whole, 2 halves, 3/3, 4/4, all the way down to 12/12. If you look at where the halves are, do you see the pink halves at the top? If you go down, you can look at the yellow. Do you see the yellow 1/4? If you compare them and you go down the little line, it takes 2 1/4 to equal a half. So 2/4 equals a half. So we're going to be looking at these and I'm going to show you an easy way to see which fractions are equal. Look at the bottom. Use the equivalent fraction table to find the equivalent fraction. Remember, a variable stands for an unknown number. Here they give you 2 parts of this fraction table. They give you 1/4 and 1/8. What you kind of have to do is just see how much it equals. So it's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 they have colored in. So all of that yellow is 3/4. Then you say how many 1/8 does it take to equal 3/4? So we count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3/4 is equal to 6/8. So I'm going to try to hold it up and show you. What you try to do, let me see if I can get this closer, is you're going to try to line up these fractions. So if we look right here and we say 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, we have 3/4. Then we count up these 8s at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3/4 also equals 6/8. So you basically just line them up and see how many of the little fractions it takes to get up to the bigger fractions. Okay, so look at, they don't really give us any examples on this, so I'm going to pull some from the other side. Let's look at 3/4 equals x over 12. Let me show you how you would solve one like this. So look at the yellow ones. Let me see if I can draw it out for you. That say 1/4. We have 1/4 here, 1/4 here, 1/4 here, 1/4 here. Now mine aren't as equal as the graph because I'm drawing it free-handed. We want to know how many of the 1/12 is going to take to equal 3/4. So I have 1, 2, 3/4 here. Then I need to see how many 12s will fit in there. So if I look at the little chart and I count over 1, 2, 3, and then I go straight down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 12s. So that means that 9, oops, sorry, there should be a 1. 9 of these 12s can fit here. Finish right here. And mine are not to scale. So that's not completely 9 of them, but that means that 3/4 9 would fit in. So let me show you using the book. I wish I had a better chart to show you, but this is all I have. So look at this chart right here. I know it's probably backwards on your screen. If I want to say 3/4 equals how many 12s? I look at the fourths right here. 1, 2, 3/4. Then I go straight down and I put my finger here and count up how many 12s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so look at the picture again that I'm showing you right here. I'll try to get it. I muted myself, sorry. If I want to see how many 1/12ths fit into the fourths, I say 1, 2, 3 fourths, put my finger, slide it down to the 12ths, and then I count up how many 12ths till I get to my finger, which is 9. So if I give you one like this, let me give you another one and I'll show you on the camera. 1/2 equals how many tenths? So I have 1/2 right here, this pink bar that's second. I'm going to slide down my finger from the middle to get to the tens, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 5 1/10ths to equal a half. So you find the 1/2, slide your finger down, and count up how many tens. Another way you can do it, which we're going to do tomorrow, is I can say 2 times 5 is 10. So 1 times 5 is 5. If it's easier for you to do that, you can do it that way. All right, let me show you one more on here. I'm going to show you the chart. I really wish I could show you a better way. It's hard because we're not in person. Let's do 1/3 equals x over 9. So I'm going to find the 1/3 mark right here. It's the first orange one. And I'm going to slide my finger down until I get to the 9s. And then I can count 1, 2, 3. So x equals 3. So let me show you the other way to do it that we're going to do tomorrow. And I really think it's a lot easier if I just show you this way now. You can do it by seeing what is missing. What do I do to get from 3 to 9? I multiply by 3. Do the same thing up here. 1 times 3 is 3. Thumbs up if that way's easier for you. Is that way easier? Okay. I'm going to teach you that way too then, because tomorrow you'll have classwork on just that. And I think it's going to be a lot easier if you just do it that way. So let's do some that way. If I have 2 over 2, and remember that equals 1, equals blank over 8. We need to figure out what that blank is. So we say 2 times what gives me 8? Times 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. With fractions, you want to do the same thing on the top and the bottom. So this makes sense because 2 over 2 equals 1. 8 over 8 equals 1. So then we can say that they both are equal to 1. Okay, I'm going to show you some more with these. This is the way you should probably learn it anyway, because next year when we start doing with adding fractions and things like that, you're going to have to know how to do this. Let's do 1/2 equals blank over 4. I say to myself, 2 times what equals 4? 2 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So x equals 2. So on your classwork today, you can do it this way. It's actually just a homework grade for today. And you can also just write the number. You don't need to write everything else out, okay? Let me give you one to try. 2/3 equals blank over 6. You tell me what x equals. Think to yourself, 3 times what equals 6? And then multiply that by the same thing you see at the top. Okay, so let's look at it. 3 times 2 gives me 6, and I always write it down in the middle. I think that helps you to remember. So then 2 times 2 is 4. So x equals 4. So that tells me that 2/3 is also equal to 4/6. If I were to draw them out, it would be the same. Okay. Let me get Braylon real quick. Braylon.
In my book, in the math book, it says 7/7, but it doesn't show like 1/7 at all.
What do you mean?
Like it's blank. It doesn't show it.
On the chart?
Mhm.
What do you mean? It shows 1/7.
Well, mine doesn't.
It's not in the purple?
Uh-uh.
Okay, you might have an older version then. Can you do it the way I'm showing you right now?
Mhm.
Yeah, just do it that way then. And there might be one in the back of your book too. Lorelai?
On mine, the sevens, they aren't there.
They're
They're
not.
they're just cyan blocks. They don't show sevens.
Okay. That might be because y'all have a different version than I do then.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all can also look them up online if you need to. Ellis?
Can we just cross multiply?
You can't, no, because that's called cross multiplying. So that would be different. You multiply it like that way across. That way you do it. All right, let's try another. You don't have to use the chart though if it's not easy for you to use. That's fine. Let's do 3/5 equals x over 10. Okay, try that one. If you know how to use the chart and it's easy for you to use it, you can. It's not very easy for me to show you on the camera because it's backwards and you guys have a different chart than I do in my book. So we're going to just kind of learn it this way, which is the way you need to learn it next year anyway, so you'll just be ahead. Okay, so we think to ourselves, 5 times what equals 10? 5 times 2. I always do the same thing on the top, 3 times 2. And 3 times 2 equals 6. So 3/5 is also equal to 6/10. And you don't have to write that out. The only thing you need to have on classwork that I'm going to be looking at is this. You don't even have to put x equals 6. If you just want to put 6, that's fine. Okay? You guys did really well on the number line stuff the other day. Most people, I think pretty much everybody, actually, I don't really know of anybody who didn't do well. You guys know how to do that. It's all good there. Tomorrow, you're going to practice some more of these equivalent fractions, and then we might move on to factors on Friday. So let me see how well you do with this today, and then we'll move on after that. This is going to be a homework grade today, not a classwork grade. I want to see how you can do before I start taking a grade on you. All right, let me see. A couple people have their little hand raised thing up. If you guys need a question, click the little button that says raise your hand because I can't see everybody at once. So if you put your hand in front of the camera, I can't see it. Callie? Hold on, you're muted. It's not letting me unmute. There you go.
So for our our homework tonight, we can just write the answer. We don't have to write out the problem.
Right, yeah. That's fine. Ellis?
For like that cross multiplying, you say you cross like that, but it doesn't. I don't get how you can go into it evenly. I don't get it.
Don't think of it going in evenly. Look at the screen. 5 times what equals 10? You know 5 times 2 equals 10, right?
Mhm.
So then you just bring that up and say 3 times 2. So if you're multiplying by 2 on the bottom, do the same thing at the top.
Oh, okay.
With fractions, guys, remember you always do the same thing on the top you do on the bottom. Lorelai?
I have 2 things, and one of them is, do we have to show our work on the homework?
No.
The other thing is, I don't know if if like Joshua's raising his hand, but I think he's meaning to.
Okay, I'll look at him. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna work my way down with the camera. I see like 5 of you at once, so I kind of just work my way down with that. Braylon?
Oh, I don't have a question. I put my hand up on accident.
Okay. That's easy enough. Joshua, do you have a question, or you just click that button? Say it again. Oh, you're muted. I can't. You're unmuted on my screen, but I
How much longer until this is over?
Do you think that's something you need to ask right now when you're in
Yes.
Hold on, Aiden. I see your hand up, but I can't find you on here. There we go. Aiden.
So the homework is due tomorrow and not today because.
Right. I give you about a day and a half to do it.
Okay. Okay. That's all.
That way everybody has enough time. I know that you guys have a lot of work from Miss Browder and Miss Miller. So if you guys need extra time, you can have it. As long as you guys are turning your work in, that's all I really need. I just need you guys learning and turning your work in. All right, let's do another practice one of this, and then I'm going to move on to science. Let me give you one like this. This one you haven't seen. 5/10 equals x over 2. Now look at this one. I can't do 10 times something equal 2. So you have to think, how do you get from 10 to 2? You divide by 5. So then I do the same thing at the top. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So if you see one where you're going big to small, you should divide. Okay? All right. Look at your science with me. Some of you have already started on that. The test was yesterday. Everybody did pretty well. If you haven't taken the test, it's due by 4 o'clock today. So you have about 3 more hours before it's due. Look at page, let me find it, hold on just a second. D30. D30 is what you're doing today. You're gonna do the vocabulary for the next chapter. So the words are water cycle, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, wave, storm surge, tide, deep ocean current, surface current, shore zone, continental shelf, abyssal plain, trench, and mid-ocean ridge. So those are the words you're going to do today. You're going to have this chapter on the oceans. We will have a vocab test next Tuesday. I'm not sure that we'll finish an actual chapter test on this. I don't think we'll have time, but we'll see. We might take an open book test and just do it that way. We'll see what we get to. So we're going to be looking at oceans, waves, tides, currents, the ocean floor. Maybe we can look at some cool stuff. Last year we looked at all those weird animals that live at the bottom of the ocean. So we can look at some stuff like that. The mountains under the ocean, the trenches, all that kind of cool stuff that is the most interesting part. Today you're going to do vocab. Tomorrow you're going to read and answer questions. And then Friday we're going to do the fill in the blank notes. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to unlock your math. Make sure that if it's getting bigger at the bottom, you multiply. If it's getting smaller, like what's on your screen, then you need to divide to get there. And I'm here if you guys have any questions. All right. It's unlocked. You're going to be doing page 273, 1 through 5. So we're probably going to spend the rest of the week on just this. If you guys know how to do it, then you're just going to have an easy rest of the week. 100 grades, all easy. I'm going to unmute you, and if you have any questions, you can ask. And if you don't, you guys can go and start working.
Bye-bye.
Meet at lunch.
Bye.
Hello to the doggo, the king. Hello to King Louis. Smile bite.
All right.
Clark, Miss Clark, I missed most of that. I missed almost everything you said.
Did Jacob or Annabeth ever come in?
No.
No.
Miss Clark.